so superb as this, it is almost a pity to mar with the inevitable complement of disaster and decay. But our account of the Athenian polity would be misleading and incomplete if we did not indicate how the idea of equality, on which it turned, defeated itself, as did in Sparta the complementary idea of order, by the excesses of its own development. Already before the close of the fifth century, and with reiterated emphasis in the earlier decades of the fourth, we hear from poets and orators praise of a glorious past that is dead, and denunciations of a decadent present. The ancient training in gymnastics, we are told, the ancient and generous culture of mind and soul, is neglected and despised by a generation of traders. Reverence for age and authority, even for law, has disappeared, and in the train of these have gone the virtues they engendered and nurtured. Cowardice has succeeded to courage, disorder to discipline. The place of the statesman is usurped by the demagogue, and instead of a nation of heroes, marshalled under the supremacy of the wise and good, modern Athens presents to view a disordered and competitive mob, bent only on turning each to his own personal advantage the now corrupt machinery of administration and law. And however much exaggeration there may be in these denunciations and regrets, we know enough of the interior working of the institutions of Athens to see that she had to pay in licence and in fraud the bitter price of equality and freedom; that to the influence of disinterested statesmen succeeded, as the democracy accentuated itself, the tyranny of unscrupulous demagogues, is evidenced by the testimony not only of the enemies of popular government, but by that of a democrat so convinced as Demosthenes. "Since these orators have appeared," he says, "who ask what is your pleasure, what shall I move, how can I oblige you, the public welfare is complimented away for a moment's popularity, and these are the results: the orators thrive, you are disgraced. Anciently the people, having the courage to be soldiers, controlled the statesman, and disposed of all emoluments. Any of the rest were happy to receive from the people his share of honour, office, or advantage. Now, contrariwise, the statesmen dispose of emoluments, through them everything is done. You, the people, enervated, stripped of treasure and allies, are become as underlings and hangers on. Happy if these persons dole you out show money, or send you paltry beeves; and the unmanliest part of all, you are grateful for receiving your own." And this indictment is amply confirmed from other sources. We know that the populace was demoralised by payments from the public purse; that the fee for attendance in the assembly attracted thither, as ready instruments in the hands of ambitious men, the poorest and most degraded of the citizens; that the fees of jurors were the chief means of subsistence for an indigent class, who had thus a direct interest in the multiplication of suits; and that the city was infested by a race of sycophants, whose profession was to manufacture frivolous and vexatious indictments. Of one of these men Demosthenes speaks as follows: "He cannot show any respectable or honest employment in which his life is engaged. His mind is not occupied in promoting any political good. He attends not to any trade, or husbandry, or other business. He is connected with no one by ties of humanity or social union. But he walks through the marketplace like a viper or a scorpion with his sting uplifted, hastening here and there, and looking out for some one whom he may bring into a scrape, or fasten some calumny or mischief upon, and put in alarm in order to extort money." From all this we may gather an idea of the way in which the Athenian democracy, by its own development, destroyed itself. Beginning, on its first emergence, from an earlier aristocratic phase, with an energy that inspired, without shattering, the forms of discipline and law, it dissolved by degrees this coherent whole into an anarchy of individual wills, drawn deeper and deeper, in pursuit of mean and egoistic ends, into political fraud and commercial chicanery, till the tradition of the gentleman and the soldier was choked by the dust of adventurers and swindlers, and the people, whose fathers had fought and prevailed at Marathon and Salamis, fell, as they deserved, by treachery from within as much as by force from without, into the grasp of the Macedonian conqueror. End of Chapter 3, Section 10. Recording by Martin Geeson in Hazelmere, Surrey.